Everyone around the world says the same thing. Doesn't matter when you get him. You can get yourself a nice, sexy slice of Sean Salisbury. You'll take him any freaking day of the week as he joins us right now for a special, very special post-Halloween edition of the Sean Salisbury Show. Good morning, buddy.
How you guys doing today?
Great. We're doing good. You know what, though? I'll tell you, Sean, first couple hours of this show, I was running all over the place, man. I'm a little tired. I'm thinking of tapping out of the show because I am tired. That might be fine for a radio host. I said when we were going to have you on Tuesday, I don't know which way you're going to go on this one. Usually I can peg your responses. I don't know how Anthony Richardson tapping out is going to play with you, so I've been waiting all week to ask you your thoughts.
I think you should know. Hopefully you're being
I think, okay, before you answer, my gut instinct says 100% that you're going to say, you don't do that, you just lost the locker room. The only reason I reserve judgment, Sean, to be honest, I'm overthinking it, is that this could also be you were a quarterback, you played under center, and it could be one of those things where it's like, guys, unless you've been there, you don't know what the F you're talking about when you judge somebody. So that's the only reason I was wavering.
Well, I can tell you this, and I go on in Indy every week. I think Anthony Richardson, from all accounts, I've talked to coaches from his past, is a good guy, a hell of an athlete. I mean, it's supremely talented. He walk into a gym in street clothes and dunk a basketball standing flat-footed. He can throw the ball a country mile. He can, do all. He's a big physical guy, and he's explosive talent. The problem is he can throw it through a car wash without getting it wet, but he can't hit the car wash. So that's one thing his inaccuracy is almost unprecedented right now. He's got a lot to learn, but you can coach him up. I don't know if you'll ever be able to coach up big-time accuracy that goes from 48% to 70%, but he's an enormous talent, and that's the teaser. But he misses too many throws. But I can tell you this, with as inaccurate as he is, and I don't care if it is radio or quarterback play, especially quarterback play, he may have to work a lot longer to overcome one play where he tapped out than he would a 47% completion percentage guy. I have talked about a half a dozen guys, more current people in the business, a Hall of Fame, a second Hall of Famer. I said, what would you do? They said, you can't. And I feel the same way. And listen, it's not a pat on the back. I've been through games. I remember playing in Pittsburgh from the opening snap. You got hit in the mouth, and it was going to be one of those days in Three Rivers where the entire game you got your brains beat in. And guess what you can't do?
Tap out.
Unless you're hurt, injured, you can't tap out. And from that game, I'll never forget it. Chad Brown, and the first hit in Three Rivers Stadium, we threw a three-step hitch route. Three-step, quick game. You're never supposed to get hit in a quick game. Threw a hitch route. Chad Brown hit me so hard about put my doggone nose through the back of my head. And he was laying on top of me, and I look up at him. He looked at, this was literally the first play from scrimmage. And he said, and it was cold and miserable in Three Rivers. Those great fans there. It was real football. And he looked at me. He said, Sal's, I'm going to be here all day. And I said, and I'm not going anywhere. So it was one of those, and I love him, but it was one of those. And I think that you could throw 5 picks, and tapping out loses more respect than that. Now, it'll take a while to get it back. He's young and inexperienced. Well, you can't make that excuse, because what about the 300-pounder who's getting leaned on by, the Aaron Donald? You're trying to block him all day, or you got to block when was at his best, or you had to deal with Watt at his best, or Reggie White on Gary Zimmerman or Randall McDaniel. Can you imagine with 1:30 to go say, I need you guys for one more play, and they're looking like, are you out of your damn mind? He's been beating my brains in for 70 plays, and you tapped out because you were tired? Yeah, no. And I loved Richardson's honesty, but I hated it too. I never encourage anybody to lie. As a quarterback, you're held to a different standard. You got to lie. Those receivers are running routes, fullbacks and move H-back, the running backs taking hit after hit after hit, and lie to us in the press conference. Say your shoulder bothered you. You need to go in and get it checked. You were a little concerned. Your hammy was twinged. Don't ever say you tapped out. Think about watch a boxing match. Watch a UFC match. Ask, what if the right guard checked out and he's your best? Quentin Nelson in Indy or whoever. If Trent Williams said, you know what, man, I can't go. I'm a little tired, a little winded. No. Can't do it, brother. We just don't, especially at quarterback, when you got a red jersey on all year, practice field, can't do it. So this is a long answer for an easy question. unequipped. When it happened, I'm like, he better be hurt. I swear to you, I'm watching thinking, is he hurt? What are you doing? And I understand he wasn't out long. You just can't tap out when you're healthy. Lie to us and tell us it was something else.
Fake a concussion, something, right?
Yeah. Not even that. I don't even like, because that's bad karma.
Okay.
The concussion thing, that's the bad karma. Yeah, fake the concussion. Next thing you know, you're sitting in the training room with a concussion.
Good point.
Hey, man, my shoulder, I felt I landed on her. I don't know what happened. It didn't look right. It doesn't feel right. And then get your ass back in there. But don't ever tap out because you're tired.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Inexcusable, unacceptable, and hard to get back once you've lost it. And I got news for you. I know that the performance is the reason he's not starting this week, but don't kid yourself. It made it a lot easier knowing that Flacco wouldn't have tapped out, and he's a guy who's as old as Methuselah and still playing his ass off. So there you go.
Yeah, Sean, I think you're right. I mean, they're better with Flacco right now. I think that's a big part of why they do it. But on the other side, how do you – if you're Indianapolis, he's still a huge investment. He was that high of a draft pick, and they probably still think has a bright future. How do you develop a guy like that needs development while he's not going to play?
Work with him. He comes in on an off day or on a Wednesday after practice. I know when I was young in the league, I say you'd stay after practice and throw routes to a scout team guy or to the practice squad guy, or Chris Carter would want to stay out longer, or AC or Steve Jordan, or I'd ask him, 15 more minutes. Ask the coach to stick around, practice 15 more, whatever it is. Get there, whatever. I know you don't work on mechanics during the season. They're putting game plans in. You make time. You want to be average? You want to be good? You want to be great? You want to say whatever it is. And he's got his abilities through the roof. And I'll be honest with you, guys, I'm not concerned about his feelings, because if I drafted you with the 4th pick of the first round and I've done my due diligence and I'm worried that you're going to lose confidence because we benched you in the infancy of your career, then I shouldn't have drafted you there anyway, because it may not be the last time you get benched. You're going to go through a boatload of adversity throughout your career. If you're telling me, if I got to worry about his fragility of his personality, his second year of his career, and it's a young career, and he's got a great future, he needs to go to work. But I can't take into account, what if he loses confidence? Well, you keep him out there and he keeps throwing for 40%. And tapping out, he's going to lose far more confidence, not just him, but his teammates are as well. So he needs to be on the bench. Flacco gives you a better chance to win. But he's a kid. He's in his early 20s. Go to work, get ready, and be prepared when it calls on you again, because it will, and then you take advantage of it. But I can't worry about his feelings. I got 50 other guys on the field that I'm not giving them the best chance because I'm worried. Two things I don't believe in is the feel-good business, where if one player's, I can't bench him, he's a fragile personality, or he's a first-round draft pick, and the Lifetime Achievement Award. I don't really care if you're a Hall of Famer to be, you're 38. If you're not performing, you can come sit by me and hand out Gatorade just as good as the rookie can. So I'll give you your Lifetime Achievement Award when your career's over, or you're a first-round pick. We'll hopefully get the most out of you we can. Right now, I got a full organization I got to be accountable for, and you just ain't getting it done. And that's going on with the offensive line here in Houston. I don't really care where you're drafted or what you're making. If you're not going to show up and protect your quarterback from 8 sacks on national TV, then your ass might need to be over there giving Gatorade to the guy who will.
Sean Salisbury joining us. Sean, I do know for a fact where you're going to land on this one, and I'm really more interested in solutions because once again, the ghost of Deshaun Jackson reared its ugly head last night, Thursday Night Football. His first NFL carry, and Malachi Corley does the old drop before the goal line. Thank God for Garrett Wilson's jump man catch. Thank God the Jets, in a game they had to have, won the game. And I was saying earlier, Sean, you have coached you have coached football. You work with young players. Why do we not have every coach in the entire football world say, hey, look, I don't even want you dropping it 5 yards in the end zone. You want to spike it. You want to celebrate. You want to do whatever. You do it past that white line in the back of the end zone. I see anybody dropping the ball. I don't care if it's in the middle of the end zone. You're running till you puke. This happened in college football last week as well. Can we figure this out and stop this thing?
Yeah, hit them in their wallet, find their ass with whichever excuse me, the maximum fine that you can fine a guy for the CBA, whatever it is. Kid, think about it now. Remember, that kid in high school or in college, or like when Tiki Barber was having a fumbling problem and he just carried the ball around with, we joke about that. I may have to put a ball in your hand, but it's not even a forced fumble. But we do that to teach a kid, you learn how to grip this ball. Well, in those cases with these guys who it's an unforced error, you're dropping it because it's, number one, as selfish as it can get. Number two, it's look at me, not look at the team, because you're trying to prove to people just what a cool dude you are, that you can drop the ball just as you cross to show them that you're real, right? And then third, it's just so disrespectful and so low IQ. It's as low IQ of football as there is, and it's so selfish. You know what I tell them? First off, one, in the funny way, which is not funny because it could have cost them a game and they were fortunate to get the call their way, is treat it like you tell a kid to run the 40-yard dash for the combine. You don't run to the line, you run through the line. I would say the end zone is the back of the end zone. If that ball leaves your hands before you get to the back of the end zone on a run in, then you come over and see me and you're going to sit down next to me. And then bring the ball you scored with to me.
Yes.
That's how I'm going to, you don't let that, you bring that ball to the coach on the sideline, and then you come over here and celebrate with your teammates on the sideline. Until you prove to me that that your IQ is above a brick when it comes to football IQ, then do me a favor. Come bring that ball to me and we'll celebrate over here. Once you've proven that you would, like we drafted you, you're a high IQ guy, you're a good character guy, you're a good player, then and only then you can get 5 yards deep and drop it. As I'm being a bit facetious, there's got to be something. First off, it's on the athlete. And don't enable him if you're the coach. You just can't let it go, oh, unfortunate mistake. That's not a mistake. That's a thought process. That's a concentrated, I'm going to show him how cool I am on my first touchdown. Then I'm just going to drop it at the goal line. And don't tell me you didn't know where the goal line was on your first touchdown. You know where you'd crawl 10 miles over broken glass to get your first score. So it chaps my ass because it's so selfish that you're saying, look at me. Have you ever noticed it's never Barry Sanders?
Right.
It's not Marcus Allen.
Yep.
It's not the guys who've been in there all the time. It's always the guy who has to say, it's the same guy who goes and celebrates before the Hail Mary throw. That kind, who celebrates because he wants to taunt the crowd, and then the ball happens to find you and hits your hands and ends up with a loss for Chicago. Is there anything more selfish than the look at me thing? It's such a low IQ, selfish approach. I would make him, as the coach, honest to God, deliver the ball to me on the sidelines. If it leaves your hand, you're not playing the rest of the game. I know that's a bit overbearing. I'm being a bit tongue-in-cheek, but you got to find a way not to be that selfish. That's not why we drafted you.
Crawling over broken glass just for his first score. Sounds like me in high school, Sean.
Yeah, wouldn't we all? So when they say, well, I didn't know where the end zone was. Sure you didn't. Sure you didn't. You knew where the end zone was when you were 4, dude. So we all did. And then to do that, it's like, and then inevitably they get bailed out and we don't talk about it. But like, if you're the coach and you're running, you just can't, it just can't happen. And you're looking around saying, really, again? Don't you watch TV every week, and why are we doing this? You can have all the time in the world to celebrate and leap into just do it with the ball in your hands, okay? Celebrate with the ball in your hand. Give it to a teammate once you're in the end zone. Don't do that. It's just dumb, and they've been around football too long to have that kind of low IQ football IQ on game day. They really have. All of us have.
Okay, just to be clear, we got back to football.
Yes, exactly. I got you.
The whole teammate. I got you. Sean, have a great weekend. You're always.
Hey guys, hey, thanks. I'm in a good mood. It's Friday. You got me pissed off the guys can't block. You got me pissed off that a guy tapping out. And you got me pissed off that a guy almost cost the team a victory that wasn't even my team. Great to talk to you, too. I can't wait till Vince Lombardi comes out of the grave and him and I talk. Thanks.
That's what happens when you come on Fridays instead of Tuesdays, dude.
Hey, thanks for the punishment for me being late. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
See you, brother.
Thanks, Sean.
Take care. It's Sean Salisbury.
I think he really is here.
I think he is, too. Those were all assists to his blood pressure right there. When we come back, who's hot, who's not? And we've got not 1, but 2, 3 in the keys. That's 6 in the key.
That's way too long.
That's way, even